On this channel, I'm talking a lot about altcoins, about the fact that you should not buy them. So far, it's been a very good choice, but there are still people that say, nah, let's buy the dip and let's buy the dip and you will be fine. Let me show you a different way. What if you have bought altcoins in the bear market? How far has it gotten you? Maybe it's good to see this because you might be in a little shock if you see these numbers. But I also want to touch on the bright side. What if you bought altcoins in the deepest of the bear market and ride it all the way up to the bull run? So let's take a look at that. This might be very interesting. If you like the video already, please like the video, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to turn on your bell notifications. I'm here every day during the bull market, bear market, doesn't matter. We're gonna make it. But you have to not throw your money away. So let me show you. If you invest $1,000, let's start with that. You have $1,000, maybe you have more, maybe you have less. What if you invest $1,000 into altcoins? Let's go. Let's take a look. So what we can see right here is on this app, you can make a portfolio strategy tester. And what this basically does is showing, if you go for equal right here, that if I, let's say, put $1,000 in, right? And it divides the $1,000 equal over a certain amount of coins, right? What was the price and where did it go to? So let's start with Bitcoin. Let's start with Bitcoin. Now let's start off positive. And then I want to show you what the real danger is as well. So if we look at Bitcoin, let's go there. What if you bought, and I'm going to take the bottoms and the tops of the cycles as an example. Let me already tell you, you probably won't be able to buy the bottom or sell the exact top, but it's something to go with, right? The market does provide us with that opportunity. So Bitcoin bottomed here, right? 17 December. Now, not exactly. I think it was more like 15 December 2018. Okay, well, here it says 16. So let's go with that. So what if you put $1,000 into Bitcoin back then? How much would you have made if you put $1,000 into Bitcoin at the exact bottom? Let's take a look. So you started with 1K and you rode it all the way up to $21,000. So with the safest crypto asset out there, you see, you don't have to gamble. You could have made it 21x. Right? So that's definitely not bad. Now, for the people that feel like, yeah, I don't care about Bitcoin, let me show them juicy altcoins right there. Okay, let's see how much you would have made if you put something into altcoins. So what we can do is we can go to assets and you can say, okay, I'll also put some in Ethereum, in BNB, and let's go just with what's now in the current top 10 or 20 or whatever, right? Because these coins are still around, so that wasn't definitely that bad. You put some in XRP, you put some in Cardano, in Dogecoin, and Solana wasn't back then around, I think. Let's say Litecoin. All right, so what if you divided it a little bit? So you still have your Bitcoin, but the same $1,000 is also divided over a couple of altcoins. What would you have made then? Let's see. Are they still around? Yeah. So what you have done is you put your $1,000 into $85,000, right? $85,000. Well, that's a big difference, of course, right? So what you can say is, by the way, I'm using the altcoins that are now in the top 10, right? So I kind of picked the altcoins that survived in the first place. I don't mean to say that if you buy random altcoins right now, that you will do the same amount of numbers, because who says that the altcoins that you're going to buy in the bear market are going to be around, let alone in the top 10 in the next cycle, right? But it's what the market provides us. So you could have made an $85,000 return on just $1,000. That's quite good, right? Now, what if you did all of that, but you left Bitcoin out of it, right? So you decided to go a little more degen and you felt like, okay, let's put that $1,000 only in altcoins. And these are like, again, pretty safe altcoins, right? Most of them at least. Ethereum, BNB, XRP, ADA, Doge, and Litecoin. Okay, let's take a look how that looks. So you would have put your $1,000 in and you would have made $96,000. So almost 100x on your money. Well, it sounds very juicy. And I must say that I really think we will get such an opportunity again, right? Fact is, though, that back here, you did not know which altcoins were going to perform that well. If you actually picked all these altcoins that I have right here, yeah, okay. Again, this is in theory, right? In real life, you won't pull this off, of course, with this strategy. But still quite interesting to see. But let's now take a look at the downside. All right, so let's take a look at the same coins right here. So let me first remove them all. And let's take a look at what happened if you bought these coins at the top of the bull run and how much it is worth right now. So the top of the bull run was, I don't know the exact dates. I think it's November 11 or something like that, somewhere in that direction. That's not true. Let me take a look. November 10. All right. So if you go to 2021, and we go to November 10, which was the top for Bitcoin. What if, so with Bitcoin, you could have made it 20x. Okay. But that's if you invested it in at the best moment ever, right? What if you invested it in the worst moment ever? Then your $1,000 will now be worth $466. It was even 240. Not bad for a bear market, right? So the risk return on Bitcoin is very good though, right? 20x profit or 4x, to put it like that, loss. Not bad. Right? Not bad. So for the people that feel like, okay, I want to do some serious investing and I really want to, put some serious money into it and some money that I actually rely on. You still should not invest more than you can lose, but you already know that. But the people that feel like less gambling and really want to make some secure profits, relative secure in still a high risk market, Bitcoin is definitely not a bad option, right? Also curious, by the way, how does that look if you do that with only Ethereum? All right, so if you put $1,000 in Ethereum, it will now be worth, well, $400. Also not bad. And the low was 214. So with Ethereum, slightly high risk, of course. I mean, you can say about Ethereum whatever you want, but it's still an altcoin. Right? But it's the blue chip altcoin. But now, let's take a look what happened if you would have done the same with the same lineup altcoins that we just used. So you have Bitcoin, Ethereum, BNB, XRP, Cardano, Dogecoin, and we had Litecoin. Right? And I'm skipping Solana and DOT because otherwise I have to check like, okay, what date did they release, right? Because I don't know if they were already around in 2018. I don't think so. So let's go with these, right? What if you invested this, like a lot of people did, unfortunately, at or around the top, and in this case, at the top of the bull market? Then your $1,000 will now be worth $333. Still not bad, worse than with just Bitcoin, but not bad, right? And at the lows, it would have been worth $240. Okay, it's definitely not that bad. What if we exclude Bitcoin? So you only mess around with these altcoins. Then your $1,000 will now be worth 311, so kind of the same, right? And the low, 234. So that's not really that bad, right? So you might say like, okay, well, altcoins, worth the risk. Yeah, but if you take the blue chips away, like Ethereum now as well, you probably see that the amount here is getting lower already, right? You would now have 294 and the low would have been 238. 8, give or take. But then, yeah, you still have BNB, which was one of the best performing altcoins, right? If you take that away, you'll see that it's already, well, this is not really proving my point, by the way. That's not really proving my point here. But you do see that, you know, it is still not really that great, 272. So it is, if you do, like the point is still, if you do take the blue chips away, you know, the losses are slightly getting bigger and bigger and bigger right here. All right. Now, the thing is that if you do the same with some more speculative altcoins like people like to do, right? So we skip this top 10 right here and you go with, let's say you bought some, and this is still the top 50, whatever, right? You bought some AVAX, you bought some Uniswap, good project, right? Link, good project. What else do people really like? HBAR. Quant wasn't around back then. You bought some VeChain, Near Protocol, Algorand. So, right, still the relative safe altcoins, but a little more down the list, right? You bought some Phantom, and let's say you spread it out with some Sandbox. What else do we have? Man, we already have that. Axie, Neo, we're still buying that, right? Oh, you bought some Gala, you want to do some gaming as well. Right. Well, let's go with this list, right? So you have a pretty decent list. You have some layer 1s, you have some DEXs, you have a Chainlink, Jesus Christ, Oracle. Sorry, you have all kind of stuff. You have some more layer 1s, gaming, metaverse, etc. So let's calculate that. If you put $1,000 into a complete package of good altcoins, right? What would you have done? Well, from the moment Bitcoin came down, you first made a 2x on your altcoins. That's pretty interesting, right? So the altcoin market is always quite lagging when it comes to Bitcoin. Therefore, my strategy is mostly first ride whenever the Bitcoin bull run starts, ride the Bitcoin bull run, and then later on convert that Bitcoin into altcoins. And then you have a good chance of first making profits and then use that profits to make more profits on those profits, if you know what I mean. Anyway, your $1,000 will now be worth $150. And at the lowest point, it would have been worth $135. Right, so you do see that my point here is, because if you use this same list and you bought it, I don't think, well, most of these coins were around in the last bear market. Shit, now it resets. Because the point here is, if you buy these speculative altcoins, right? Like, I don't know exactly what I clicked right here. HBAR, I think I did, and I did some Unilink. Let me do that again real quick. VeChain, I think, Near Protocol. I had some Algorand, Phantom, Sandbox, and I think it was Gala somewhere. Yeah, well, this was kind of give or take the list, right? So if you bought that at the lowest point, right? And let me see, is there anything like Uni, etc.? Yeah, they weren't around back then. Overall, you would have turned $1,000 into $1 million. 2 million, 2.5 million. Fucking insane, right? Fucking insane. However, the problem kind of is that in a bull market, if you go lower into the top 100 or 200 or whatever, in a bull market, you see the returns are blowing up, right? But like I showed you, in a bear market, it's just not worth it. If you want to be exposed to crypto in a bear market, you can go with Bitcoin. You lose 4x of your money so far, but already with a good bag of the best, most high cap altcoins out there, you already turned $1,000 into $150. Okay, that's the whole point that I'm trying to make right here. And let me go back to November. Where was it? I don't know, just press something. And you can go, of course, way lower down that list, because the problem is a lot of altcoins at this day, they were a lot higher in that list, right? So you had Steppen was a big hype back then. If we go lower, Ronin, Waves, Let's be honest, Terra Luna was really be out there. Right now it's getting nasty, right? Yeah, Moonbeam was quite, well, a hype, a little. Well, what do you have? Cadena was there. Yeah, fuck it. Let's throw Cadena in it. Trader Joe makes up for some losses because that did quite well, of course. What else do we have? Sushi Swap. Let me see, what else do we have there? Did you buy it? Still around? Cool. Yeah, well, this is a bag, right? If you go lower down the list, you know, the returns are not that great as well. You turned $1,000 at the lowest point. It was also worth $150. Right? And you'll just notice that the lower down the list you go, the higher the losses are, right? And in a bull market, the profits are bigger, of course. So my point is that I always say on this channel, well, always so far, because look, a lot of people think I'm a Bitcoin maxi or an altcoin bear. I adjusted the market, and it happened that this channel, I made this channel in the bear market. So there was never a bull market for this channel to discuss in the first place. Right? Once we get a bull market, we talk about altcoins. Like, oh yeah, this is a good one, and let's buy that, and da-da-da-da. Of course, time will come. But you see right here on the screen now as well, right? Altcoins can be great or they can be shit. It depends on what phase of the market you are in. That's the point that I'm trying to make. So don't mess around with the wrong things at the wrong time. And I think the dedicated viewers right here, they know what the right time is, right, by now. And I will keep making content about that. So if you're new or you missed that, you know, just subscribe, turn the bell notification on, you won't miss it. Believe me, you will get the information that I think you need. I shot this video a little on forehand, so prices could be different, but it's probably not different from when you look. This is the altcoin market on its Bitcoin pair in total, right? So you have, like, for example, Gala on its Bitcoin pair, right? That's not looking so great, of course. You see that coming down. Well, this is every altcoin on its Bitcoin pair. And what you notice is that we now come down finally, right? But the bear market started in November 2021. That was here. Here was the start of the bear market. And what did altcoins do against their Bitcoin pair? They were holding up for more than a year. And just now, especially since like March this year, they really started to dump. Well, basically from here, November 2022, right? But especially from here was the big dump. Now they're finally starting to go down against Bitcoin, right? But this is in the same period, you know, November last year, give or take, right? It's in the same period that Bitcoin is going up 2x. Whenever we hit the period that Bitcoin is finally seeing correction, right? And so far, every cycle that happened, right? In this cycle here, we made a low and we made a double bottom over here. This cycle right here, we made a low and we made a slightly higher low over here. Well, this cycle we made a low. Well, we have to see how far we go, right? So far, the cycle is intact. So who am I to say that this time is different, right? Now we have ETFs. Yeah, back then you also had good news and we still came down. Oh, no, but that was because of a black swan. That's the market. The market does that. Whatever narrative you try to give it, that's just the cycle. It's what it is. So there's a very likely chance, in my opinion, that Bitcoin comes down. Might not be 15K. Maybe it will. But maybe it will just be 20K or 25. Problem is that we don't need a lot for altcoins to go down. Because they are already down on their Bitcoin pair, right? And if you now look at altcoins on their dollar pair, they are already, most of course, right? Always exceptions, but they are already sitting around their lows. One is slightly above, one is at the lows, one is under the lows, right? While Bitcoin is up 2x, but it's purely because altcoins bleed against Bitcoin. So what do you think will happen if this keeps on going down? Well, Bitcoin also goes down. Then you won't see these candles. Then you will see double of these candles, multiple. That's where you are going to think that it's over, that it's never coming back, right? That altcoins are not worth it anymore, that these projects are dead, and a lot will die, right? And by then, it's looking like, okay, what project survived? And therefore, I sometimes see people say like, yeah, can you make a price prediction about this coin? No, because this is my price prediction, right? This. It depends. Again, I said this before, but it's likely that altcoins go down 40, 50%, give or take, on their Bitcoin pair from here. Well, best scenario is that Bitcoin does not go down, but stays where it is, right? And if that happens, then this goes down just 50%, right? So for example, then we have a Gala sitting at 1 cent, right? But what if Bitcoin also goes down? Then there's an altcoin bleeding against Bitcoin, which is bleeding against the dollar. So how hard do you think that altcoin is bleeding against the dollar? Way harder. So then 1 cent is bullish. Then we see Gala at half cent maybe. I don't know. And it's now sitting at 2.5. So that's a lot cheaper, right? And still there are people saying it can't happen. I don't see a reason why. I see a lot of reasons why it could, apart from the fact that it happened before, right? And also a lot of these coins that we are interested in right now, like Gala, for example, just random in my screen, but it never gone to a bear market, right? So you don't know how it behaves in the bear market. So far in the bear market, we do know because it came down 80%. After that 80%, it came down another 80%. After that 80%, so far, it's down 30%. Well, yeah, again, look at Cardano last cycle. Down 80%, another 80%, and from there another 84%. And that last 84% was because the Bitcoin dominance went up while Bitcoin was going down. That was the final flush, right? If that happens on Gala, and again, why not? So far, it's playing out, right? If it goes down 84%, where does it take you? Half cent. Again, half cent, by the way. That's coincidental, I think. I don't know. But it suggests to me, this is not me saying like, well, it happened before, so it's going to happen again. But it is me saying it happened before, so it could happen again. And so far, it is happening. Right? And the people that love the specific coin, for example, like maybe some people watching and have a big bag of Gala, they don't want this. And therefore they maybe say, no, it's not going to happen. Well, let go of that. Just because your altcoin is the best altcoin, right? It's not. But even with the best altcoins, it can happen, right? It can happen with everything. That's the thing about crypto. Therefore, we see such low prices because people get so surprised at first and they get that false hope. And then they feel like, oh, it's going to work again. And then it gets slapped down even more and more. And then they feel like, fuck it, I'm a panic sell. And then goes down even more. And then those diamond hands feel like, shit, it's dumped. Let's dump it as well. And that's the liquidity in these altcoins is now moving to Bitcoin. Why do you think that the Bitcoin dominance is going up so hard right now? Right? It's because people are selling their altcoins and putting it into Bitcoin because they now finally see that Bitcoin is one, lower risk and two, higher return at this stage of the market, right? And Bitcoin will always be the lowest risk, not always the highest return, right? In the bull market, there's always a very good bunch of altcoins that outperform Bitcoin. And even in the bear market, there is a handful of altcoins that outperform Bitcoin. But still, how are you going to find those before they did that? That's not possible. That's not like you have to be lucky. I don't base my money on luck because I want to, really not lose my money. It's not gambling for me. And if you feel like I like gambling, then my videos are not for you anyway. Like you can of course take a part of your money and gamble with that if you feel like, oh, I want to miss that, and I can miss that. But still, if you want to stay a little safe, look at the dominance for Bitcoin again. Like it was ranging for 2 years right here, and it finally broke out. And every time we got here, people said like, oh yeah, alt season, and we went down. And it's technically an alt season, but if you really want an alt season, you really want to see it go down. But how can you go down that hard if you not are up first, right? And no, we won't get here now or something like that. That's not possible. Why not? Because we did not even manage to take out this low of 2018, while altcoins are way more popular right here. This NFT boom and all the VC money and all the pre-sales, etc. We still weren't able to take this out, let alone going way lower than that. And now we are at that stage that if you look at the dominance and you overlay Bitcoin with it, you'll just see that no matter if Bitcoin is going down as well, right? Bitcoin is going down and the dominance still goes up, right? The dominance still goes up, right? Bitcoin is now sitting at the exact same level as where it was in April, right? So when it comes to that, Bitcoin price hasn't changed, right? But the dominance went from 47% to 52%. So if Bitcoin doesn't go up, but more money is coming into Bitcoin from what's already in the market, then where's that money coming from? Well, not from stables, because if that was the case, Bitcoin would have gone up. Right? It's going into altcoins. It's coming from altcoins, right? Into Bitcoin. And that's what's happening right now. And therefore, I've showed you this. Like, if you put money into a bear market, into altcoins, then you're going to get wrecked way harder. Right? And I give you a lot of examples right here, but it depends. Like, some altcoins were really messing here. If you, for example, take a look at Moonbeam and Luna, if you just invested in those two, your $1,000 will now be worth $25. Right? And if you take Luna away, 28, right? Like, well, everybody was hyped about this project as well. Well, I want to give you an extra tip for that. Why did, for example, Moonbeam came down so extremely hard? It's very simple. If you take a look at the chart for Moonbeam, I have 3 reasons for that. Look, I mean, this chart against Bitcoin, it is already down from the top 98.4%, and then Bitcoin is also down 60% against the dollar, right? So this is terrible. How come? Well, first, it was an overhyped layer 1. Nobody uses it, right? Like Moonbeam, like, we have so many good layer 1s. Who uses Moonbeam, right? So first, the product turned out not to be that good. 2, we are in a bear market. And 3, is this. Check out token.unlocks.app. Right? I don't know if you can find this specific altcoin right here. Yeah, and you can see the token unlocks for a few projects, right? And you just see that Moonbeam has a big ass token unlock. In 2022, the beginning, there were 310 million tokens. Right? At the end of the day, it will be 1 billion. Right? So, in the meantime, this is today, there are still more tokens hitting the market. More tokens of a turned out not to be so good product in a bear market, which is already driving projects down. Yeah, that makes sure that the price keeps on tanking. So yeah, there are a lot of altcoins that really underperform. And it gives you that mental... That's also the thing. You can really fall for that. Because Moonbeam fell so hard and all the liquidity is sucked out. So if there's less liquidity, it takes less to pump or dump the token, right? So it's easy for Moonbeam to do an instant 2x if they have some piece of good news or 1 or 2 big investors, right? You can pump it like that. And then people feel like, oh yeah, look at Moonbeam. And then we can continue the way down again. And then those people are wrecked as well, right? Another good example of that is Hex, for example, right? Hex only against Bitcoin, right, from here to where we are right now, is down 97.5% against Bitcoin. Right, so let alone what it does against the dollar. And I think Hex was even way higher than what it is. Right, but also when you look at Hex, came down 80%. After that 80%, came down another 80%. And after that 80% so far, it is down another 37%. Well, why not another 80 or 85 like Cardano in last cycle? Right? That at least had a utility to back it up. This only has community, which is important, but it's not everything. Right? And that's the case with Hex as well, that people then feel like, and a lot of other projects, that it in first instance, it comes down so hard, right? It comes down so extremely hard and so fast that it has a huge pump, right? Because it catches up on the liquidity that it lost. And then people feel like, yeah, it's doing great. Look at this. And then Richard Hart is tweeting these bubbles like, oh, look, we are the best performer. No, you have the biggest bounce because you had the hardest crash in the first place. And what happens after that? It shows its true colors again. And it crashes down way harder again, right? From March till now. From March till now, it lost another 92%. That's more than Bitcoin did in 2 complete bear markets. That's what Hex did in like 3 months. Right? And a lot of projects, they look like that. So the point is, overall, in a bear market, don't look too much at altcoins, right? Make your watch list, of course, study them, try to understand them, know what they do. But don't invest too much in them, because you can buy the dip and buy the dip and buy the dip. Yeah, that's not strategic. I explain that a lot. There are always people say, let's just buy the dip. You can go ahead and buy the dip. But so far, most altcoins is gotten you nowhere, right? And there are always people, I had someone in the comments said like, yeah, well, look at, what was it? Stellar, I think. Look, Stellar is doing great, right? And then you look at XLM, right? And let me remove Bitcoin here. Then you look at that, and I feel like, yeah, it came down from 80 cents and it's now 10 cents, so it still came down 8x, right? So like Bitcoin now maybe like slightly more than 2x. So why would you be in this, right? You take more risk for bigger losses, basically. But then it has a bounce from here to here, and people think it's good. It had a bounce from here to here. We still went lower. Bounce from here to here, still went lower. Bounce from here to here, still went lower. Now bounce from here to here, still goes lower probably, right? And then I look at its Bitcoin pair and I feel like, yeah, but this thing is making lower lows since January 2018, 5.5 years already, right? So against Bitcoin also, this one has lost 94%. Then what's the reason to be in this project? There is no reason. Right? Yeah, so you have the chance that you make some money. Yeah, you take a huge risk to make more money, but there is a huge chance to lose more money as well. And that's totally up to you, what you want to do, right? Are you going to take a very little chance to make 100x? Or are you going to take a slight higher chance to make like a 20x, to put it like that? And then I'm talking about the winnings and not about the losses. So again, I will keep on preaching this because I don't want this community to get wrecked. And there are always people still in the comments like, yeah, but this altcoin. Congratulations on your exception. If you want to chase the exceptions, try. You might get lucky sometimes. But again, if you go to the casino and you win with roulette, which chance is 1 to 36 or something. I don't know. I'm not a roulette player. And you win that, it doesn't make roulette a good risk-reward ratio game or anything. You were just lucky, right? I bet you that the next 10 times you probably lose. And at the end of the day, you go home broke. That's what it is. So I want to wrap it up right here, guys. Thanks for watching. Please give the video a like, subscribe if you haven't. See you soon.